Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Heartland Havoc. I am your host, Caleb Long. Along with me is my co host, who will probably just passively watch the traders with me after this episode is over. Uh,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, it would be in the
What?
middle of the season. You're not caught
No,
up.
I've watched. I've only
Wait,
been
you
able to
caught up?
watch.
Wait.
No. Hold on. I've only been able to see episode 1 so far.
Okay, I got excited there. I thought
What
you were going to
episode
be
are
able-
you on?
It's like episode 6 or 7 now.
Really? Well, but like on YouTube TV, it only shows episode 1 so far.
You got to go on Peacock, my guy.
Okay. Well,
We gotta log
we
into
gotta get
my
to your
sister's
Peacock.
account.
okay, that's what we have to
My
do.
sister's
That.
Peacock account. Yeah, because I think for Peacock they're releasing episodes ahead of time, and then they're just like broadcasting them on NBC later. That's what they did.
It was
last
like
year.
on Bravo or something.
On Bravo or whatever. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Because Bravo is like the other reality TV spot. That's like where all the Real Housewives are. But we're not talking about the Real Housewives. We're talking about the real wrestling mats and the real basketball courts. So this episode, we're summing up the pigtails in the round 1 of the district duels, looking ahead to the matchups in Milton come Saturday, and then also talking about recapping last week of what happened in basketball.
In your hoops action.
So we're not going to waste any time. We're gonna go through these. We're gonna start off with the pigtails, and Hughesville beat Troy.
Yes.
31-18.
Yes.
Lower score. Not a ton of pins there, Dad. My dad, Christopher Long, was at the Mifflinburg pigtail and round 1 matchup. So,
well, there was 5 pins.
we're okay.
So 5 out of 13 weights were
Right. So yeah.
13 weights were pins.
Yeah.
There were some forfeits. There was 3 double forfeits with no matches
Oh.
at all. So that helped keep the score down.
That kept the score down. Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 double forfeits. Double forfeits at 133, 160, and 189.
Yeah, I didn't check the box score.
I'm looking at the box.
Yeah, I'm
because I
looking
wanted
at
to
them
talk
right
about it a little bit. So Hughesville came out on top. They really showed decent. They won the upper weights, swept the 3 upper weights that they wrestled, 172, 215, and 285 with 2 pins and a decision, which really there, if you look at that gave him the lead and what sealed the match for him. This match did start at 107.
Right.
So that's where that started at, was 107 pounds at the bottom. So heavyweight was the last matchup, but there was not the match was decided by that point.
I think all of these start off with 107 and then move up to heavyweight. I think all of them
They
are.
might in the playoff.
I'm looking at all of them, and they're all starting at 1.
Okay, maybe there's no toss up then. Okay, or no draw.
And then Hughesville went on to take on Mifflinburg, and it wasn't even close.
No, that was
68-5. It was only pins.
That was quite the performance by the Mifflinburg Wildcats.
I lied. There was one major decision.
Yeah.
And then the lone win coming from Hughesville was a tech fall at 160.
Right. Yeah, that was and that match
showing why they're their 1 seed, really. I mean,
really showing why they're 1 seed, and they were missing a start. See what happened there at 162, they were missing their normal starter at 160.
Gotcha.
And they bumped people up throughout the lineup. So the kid that I'm trying to think of, Smith, I believe, who lost at 160 was normally, Wesley Smith was normally their 152 pounder. So they ended up bumping some people up, and but it was quite the bonus point exhibition there by the Wildcats.
Yeah.
It was bonus points all over and forfeits.
Yeah. So I mean, Mifflinburg moves on. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We knew this was gonna come. We knew this was gonna happen. Moving on to our next pigtail, it was Central Columbia taking over Sullivan County 49-17. And then much like the result of Mifflinburg, Hughesville, Montgomery took care of business, beat Central Columbia in the round 1 matchup 57-12.
Yeah, that's just.
I mean, Central Columbia is a better team than Hughesville, and so I mean Montgomery struggled, I guess, a little bit more than Mifflinburg, but still staying undefeated. Definitely still more of the same for them.
Right. I'm not really sure you'd call that much of a struggle. I mean,
No, it's not a struggle at all. Just letting up 2 matches.
Right. Well, yeah. So they lost on a couple pinfalls. 107 and heavyweight.
Yeah, the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yep, exactly. So that's what happened there in that match. It could be interesting with if it turns. Anyhow, let's go through the rest of the pigtails.
Okay, yeah. And real quick, Dad, you can just click schedule and it'll pull up all the matchups. And you can just click from the box scores. Wait, no, scroll back up. Okay, I don't know how to wait. Yeah, the selection meant like okay, never mind. Don't worry about it. We'll just move on. Okay, Dad's on with the program now. He's with it now. He's got it. All right. The last pigtail was Mount Carmel beating Muncie 42-33. Now that one was actually a very decent matchup. Way better than the other pigtails that we faced. It was a comeback for Mount Carmel.
It was. They lost the 2-4-6 first 6 weights.
Yeah, they were down 33-0, and then they came back and won it. A mix of forfeits and pins.
Right. There was 4 forfeits thrown in there in the upper weights, and then
they got
they
pins.
pinned out everyone else.
Yeah,
so that's one way to make your hay there with 7 pins.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 7 6-point matches, I should say.
And then when we go to their match against Montoursville won 53-18. So another dominant win for Montoursville, sort of in that last episode we talked about how Mifflinburg and Montgomery are probably locked for the first 2 spots. Montoursville is definitely at that top of that
right, they're up there.
Spot for the 3rd spot. I mean, the other 3 seed. So good win for them. They keep their momentum going.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, not much to say in the round 1 matchup. They took care of business.
They took care of business. A lot of dominant wins. They gave up 2 pins and they gave up 3 pins to Mount Carmel at 152, 160, and 215. That was their losses. So other than that, nice wins for the Warriors of Montoursville.
Yeah, for sure. And moving on, in I believe this was 4-13. Yeah, the Lime Mountain was the 4th seed. In the 4-13 matchup, Lime Mountain takes care of Northeast Bradford 53-24.
Any guess on how long this match took?
I'm I'm looking at the box score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess the length of time was like 40 minutes. Less 30 minutes.
Yeah, 29. So actually the referee tonight at the Mifflinburg girls dual meet match was one of the referees in the Lime Mountain Northeast Bradford. He's like, we were off the mat at 7:29.
Yeah, I mean, well, Lime Mountain gave up 5, or not Lime Mountain, Northeast Bradford gave up 5 forfeits. And then there were, I'm looking at it now, 114 was a pin in 21 seconds. That was one of the few Northeast Bradford points.
Right.
I should say.
There was a lot of quick pins.
There was a lot of quick pins. At 127, it only lasted 38 seconds. At 139, it only lasted 34 seconds. 145 only lasted 21 seconds. And then that was your last fast pin.
Right,
and
but
a bunch of pins in the 2nd period, and there was a tech fall in the 3rd period.
Yeah, that was the longest match. Was the tech fall in the third period?
Yeah,
That
none of
189 by Cade Figure from Lion Mountain. Wow,
yeah.
that's impressive match. Yep. So that is how all of a sudden you end up leaving the mat as the officials in 29 minutes.
29 minutes.
Yes.
So I mean, Lion Mountain rolled through their opponent, so they are also one of those contenders for a top spot for that third spot. And now we're moving on to a very interesting one, and a game. Maybe we shouldn't have all picked chalk for our predictions of what was going to happen round one. This was the only upset out of them, and it was Warrior Run 39, Milton 36.
And
this
then,
was a tough matchup, and I did say there was a chance for Warrior Run to win because there were some key reasons why they lost in the regular season: missing Max Wernsberger, Kale Major losing a tech fall, and Kale Major's been decent for them, but this was a close matchup between two rivals.
right. This is really impressive win by Warrior Run. They were down 30-15 going into 160 pounds. Then there was a pin by Reagan Milheim, a pin by Max Wernsberger, a pin by Blake Parker.
And then that becomes 33-30.
That's 33-30. Warrior Run on top. They give up a forfeit at 2:15 to Michael Runkle. And then Noah Johnson at heavyweight gets the pin in 1:22 to win the match for Warrior Run.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if Ty Ulrich must be injured. I'm not
He
sure
might
where
be.
he's at. Normally slotting in there in one of the upper weights, 89 or so.
I believe no, it's not 89. I don't know. Wait, let me. They might have had to bump up. Well, no, they don't.
No, Wernsberger's usually 7.
Let me. Yeah, wait. No, look that up. But like big pin actually from Blake Parker, because I'm not doing quick math, but there might have been a chance if Blake loses this matchup, then Warrior Run loses the match.
Yeah, Ulrich wrestles.
So, and it was a close pin too. He pinned Jackson Wirtz with 24 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, Ulrich wrestles 189 and 215.
Okay,
that's where he's wrestled at.
Gotcha. So Ty Ulrich is,
and then Parker's also 189 and 215.
So Ulrich must have been out.
Right. For some reason, we're not sure.
Yeah, for sure. But
nice.
No, I mean they get in the dance. They make it to the double elimination part.
Yeah, so they have two matches at least.
Really be the wild card.
They face Mifflinburg first though.
Tough draw.
Very tough draw. If we look at,
and they do have some holes. Like they do give up some forfeits, which is unfortunate for Warrior Run.
Right.
So they're gonna have to have their hammers really come alive for them to even have a chance at winning.
I think it really becomes a bit of a matchup problem for them, though.
Also true.
With Tucker and Moser at the top weights. I mean, there could be some real fireworks going off in these upper weights as they wrestle through. Tucker and Moser for Mifflinburg. So we'll see how. When they wrestled in the Division One, they lost. Mifflinburg won 48-27 on January 17th.
For Warrior Run to jump.
Yeah, that's quite a bit, and it was Mifflinburg taking care of a lot of business there. Yeah. So Ulrich wrestled 89 that night. Moser got a forfeit. Landon Tucker pinned Noah Johnson in 1:05 at heavyweight in that matchup. And Johnson had the key win last night. So, but that's why they play the games, or the rest of the matches, I should say. We'll see what happens coming out. But, kick things off, it could be pretty exciting on Saturday at 11 a.m. when they're kicking things off there at Milton High School with 4 mats set up, and A lot of fun going on.
Yeah, for sure. And now we move on to I believe this was the 5 seed. Southern Columbia.
Yeah.
Southern Columbia and Towanda.
Yeah.
This was a close match, and I was not expecting this to be a close match.
Right.
Absolutely not expecting it to be a close match. We have Southern Columbia barely squeaking by against Towanda 34-32. And this was also a comeback. At going into 160, they were down 32-12.
Whew.
And then we have a tech fall by Braden Andrews. And then two major decisions at 172 and 189. And then a pin by John Quinton at 215. And then it came down to heavyweight once again for the win because it was 32. Towanda was up 32-31. So I am guessing that arena was electric.
I would think so. I would think
court
that
was
was electric down there in Elysburg.
Yeah, 1-7-0 in that match for Braylon Smith over Dominic Miller. But they barely squeaked by.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be real. I'm not as confident that they'll be able to get that third spot. They have Line Mountain, who has both of these teams have a bunch of hammers at the heavier weights, so it could be a coin flip, but they aren't the best in the lighter weights.
Right.
Southern Columbia is not the best at the lighter weights.
Right, because 160 and up, you pretty much hit a bunch of football players.
Right, exactly.
Taking care of business there.
And wait, let me check. I think Line Mountain might have a full suite of guys.
A full lineup?
Full lineup. Oh, no, they don't. There would be. Oh wait, no, they could bump up a guy. So they would have a full lineup, and Southern Columbia does not have a 107.
Ooh. Yeah, that could be a problem.
No, they can bump up a guy. And yeah, no, we will see what happens there with Line Mountain and Southern Columbia.
Well, Line Mountain had a full lineup the other night.
Yeah, Line Mountain. Yeah, they technically don't have a, what was the weight? It wants me to load. They technically don't have a 127 pounder, but they have 3 121 pounders.
So they're bumping someone up all the
time. It definitely looks like one or two of them. All three of them have had some decent.
So they're all experienced
wrestling
in the season. Yeah,
time. They're all experienced in the season.
That's key. That's a good job of coaching, getting everybody ready.
Yeah, and it does look like they bump a bunch of weights and sort of the lighter weights.
Playing for matchups.
Yeah, no, this is a team that plays for matchups. But that is Line Mountain and Southern Columbia. Moving on to Williamson and Canton. Williamson getting the job done 41-29. Now, obviously, these are some Northern Tier teams, so we really don't know that much about them. But Williamson started off real hot. They had a 29-0 run.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the match, and then they got pins. They got a pin at 172 that sealed it.
Okay.
And then they had a forfeit at 285.
Right.
So yeah, their lighter weights are very good. Very. I guess a lot of these teams that we have in our area have a lot of hammers on the heavier weights. Williamson has very good lightweights, it looks like.
That could make it interesting to see if they get some of them out at the individual districts.
Yeah, and they have Montoursville versus Williamson.
Ugh, that could be a good matchup.
They could be a good matchup. But no, we'll see what happens with that one. Williamson's a little bit of a wild card here because they haven't really wrestled a ton of teams in the Heartland. They sort of stick to Northern Tier. And then finally, Wyalusing gets the job done over South Williamsport 54-16. We thought this South Williamsport team would have put up a better fight I think we said that in our podcast or something of the sort. So
Yeah, this is a score that surprised me.
this is a score that surprised me how dominant they were.
Right. So good job by Wyalusing.
Lots of pins.
Lots of pins.
Looking at
Tech
it.
Falls. Yeah, they did a very good job up there at Wyalusing.
Hmm.
Coming, or I guess it was at Wyalusing. So South Williamsport had to make the trip.
Yep.
And they defended their home gym pretty well. So maybe the most unique name in all of District 4 wrestling is the heavyweight for South Williamsport. His name is Oz Bird.
He's the
That's
Osbird.
unique.
Unfortunately, he's 0-5.
So what he is?
Yeah, he's
He's only
0-5.
young sophomore.
Young sophomore. I remember when I was.
You remember being that
When I
young
was-
sophomore
yeah.
having to wrestle 285?
Yeah. I was at the weight though. I definitely was at the weight. But that is what it's looking like. Wyalusing taking on Montgomery. Unfortunately, sort of a bad draw for Wyalusing because Montgomery is just so good. And any other year they would be the number 1 seed. But the fact that we have 2 undefeated teams going into the quarterfinals of the district duels is absolutely insane. More than likely we'll see them head off, face off in the finals, and then we'll see one of them lose finally.
Right.
I'd say that like I'm tired of it. I sort of enjoy the dominance. I'm admiring the dominance.
It's very intriguing where they're both at.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, and then also we still have 3A, Stillings Grove versus Columbia Montalvo Tech, Shukalemi versus Athens. But those matches we'll talk about them next week.
Right.
After the results are done.
Right.
And now we are moving on. I was gonna say we're moving on to baseball. We're moving on to basketball.
Woot woot.
All right. So we do have more teams clinching their spots into the playoffs. Top 8 teams from 1A up to 4A. And then I do think 5A is top 8 teams as well.
Okay.
I think I wasn't able to confirm it. They don't have that information on the District 11 website. And I'm going to assume it's top 4 teams for 6A.
Yeah.
But could not
Couldn't
confirm that with District 2.
Okay.
But I'm gonna assume that that's the case. But in Class 2A of District 4, the teams that we're watching, Muncie, I think they clinched it last week, but they're still holding on to that 2 spot. Once again, Northeast Bradford sort of holding on to that 1 spot, and they're not going to let that go. If Muncie does go on a little bit of a skid, Line Mountain is kind of creeping up against them just a little bit. They have a 0.04 difference in that power rating. And then St. John Newman's at 4, and they've clinched up a spot. Montgomery's sitting at the 6th seed. I don't think they'll get bounced.
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't think they'll
Actually,
get bounced. It would take a Northwest area or a Canton to which their ratings are 0.19 and 0.18 respectively. Montgomery is sitting at 0.31. It is a little bit of a gap between them and Cowanesque Valley and Sayre. But odds are Montgomery will go on to the dance, and their matchup would be against Line Mountain. So that's a rematch of the football 1A championships.
interesting to see. Line Mountain has a good ranking in basketball and wrestling, just showing the athletes down there right now where they're at. You know,
Muncie 13-6, Montgomery 5-11, but probably gonna be in that dance. Moving on to 3A, got some more teams clinching their spots. Warrior Run's still holding on to that 1 seed. They're not gonna let that go. There's no way they're gonna let that go.
no.
And then Southern Columbia is that 2 seed. Odds are I don't think there's much of a chance for them to let that go either. I don't see them going on a real skid. Actually, wait, no. Towanda could jump them.
They actually both have 6 games left, so there's quite a
Both-
few games
okay, wait,
left
no,
there.
They do have 6 games left.
Yeah, because of delayed start because of their football season
Yeah.
going through state. So Southern's going to have a lot of games.
Towanda's excuse then?
I don't know what Tawanda's excuse is. Southern's going to have a lot of games in the back end though.
Yeah. Southern's 0.66 and Tawanda's 0.64. So Towanda, if Southern Columbia goes on a skid, could jump them. And then we have Loyal Sock. They clinched last time. Oh, and I should say records. Warrior ran 17-1. Southern Columbia 12-4. Towanda is 13-3. Loyal Sock at 12-6 has that number 4 spot. They aren't getting like creeped up by South Williamsport and Mifflinburg, who have both clinched, but they are in a little bit of like a striking distance to maybe get jumped if things don't go their way to end the season. 0.60 in the rankings for Loyal Sock, and then South Williamsport has that 5 seed at 13-4 with a 0.58 rating. Mifflinburg going 11-8 right now, and they are at 0.8 or 0.58. And then
that's really close between. They're going out to the thousandths percentage point there between.
Yeah, no.
Williamsport and Mifflinburg right now, so that could switch at any point.
Yeah, and then the other 2 teams probably going to join them in the dance. It's Troy and North Penn Mansfield. Troy is 10-6, and North Penn Mansfield is 10-7, both sporting a 0.52 rating. Troy is a little higher than them at 0.528, and then North Penn Mansfield's at 0.526.
Well, and Wellsboro at 8-8 only has 20 games on their schedule. So if they go 2-2, they would get in also. That 9, they will play. They will take the 500 teams. Even if it goes beyond 8 teams. So they have a chance, and technically Bloomsburg's not been.
Bloomsburg and Wyalusing have a chance to.
I'm not sure how Wyalusing has 7 games left.
I don't know how Wyalusing has 7 games left either. They're Northern Tier. I don't focus on them.
Right. Anyhow,
I can tell you why.
Anyhow, that's where it's at right now.
So yeah, I mean, there is a decent chance that
you could see a 10-team field
going to some preliminary pigtail games.
Right.
And that is 3A. Moving on to 4A, we have Lewisburg holding up that 1 spot, going currently at 13-4. Schmoken at that 2 spot, 12-6. Montoursville at 3, 13-6, and then Mount Carmel 11-6. They have all clinched their spots, and more than likely they're going to end up being the top 4 teams because there is a massive gap between them and the rest of the field. In 4A. And let me just say, I don't know. Montoursville and Mount Carmel are close in their ratings. It's like a point. Really, it's a 0.004 difference between them.
Okay, yeah.
So that one's a very close difference between them. Unless Shamokin goes on a skid, Montoursville, I don't think Montoursville or Mount Carmel could jump them. And then at 5 and 6 in the power ratings, it is close between Central Columbia and Jersey Shore. 9-9 for Central Columbia, and Jersey Shore is 6-9. They do still have 7 games left, so they could, if they get some good wins, they can get that 5 seed. And then we have Danville at 4-13, and Columbia Montour Tech at 5-9, rounding out the power rankings for the top 8. I don't think Midwest could jump Columbia Montour Tech, and then I don't think Milton can jump anyone.
No, I don't think so. You can't get the standings. Dang. Okay. I was just reminded as you're going through this, because I read in the paper, that Lewisburg won their division on the PHAC.
No, I did see that too.
And I was just reminded,
also won
which reminded me
a while ago,
which reminded me of the great postseason, the 4-team PHAC championship that happens before district playoffs.
Right.
It reminded me of that. So what teams will be in that? I was just gonna try to find out the standings there and talk a little bit about that, but we'll look into that next time and try to find standings. There weren't.
You need to remind me to look that up.
Yeah, but that could be a lot of fun. Those games can be really fun because you're hitting inner classifications.
Right.
Lewisburg could be playing a Warrior Run again. Like stuff like that. It could be interesting to see who wins the overall league championship.
5A, we're really looking at Selinsgrove and Shikellamy. Selinsgrove sticking at that 2 seed, but they are pressuring. They are close to that number 1 seed in 5A. It's between Selinsgrove is 12-4 and Pottsville is 13-6. There's I think there's a reason why Pottsville sort of dropped a little bit in the rankings. It's because Williamsport beat them.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. So I think that might have dropped their rating just a little bit, but it is 0.003 difference between Selinsgrove and Pottsville right now for that number 1 seed. And the rest of like District 11 that's clinched, we have Blue Mountain at 12-7 and Southern Lehigh at 13-7, clinching their spots. Shikellamy has fallen down to the 7th spot. They did have some not bad losses, but they had some losses against Selinsgrove and Shamokin. But there is a chance they could jump. There is a chance they could jump up to the 5 seed if they end the season strong. And because they're only 0.01 away from both Athens and Bangor area. Is it Bangor or Bangor? How much do I pronounce the O?
Bangor.
How much do I pronounce?
I don't know. I guess it's Bangor. I don't know.
Yeah, but I do believe it is 8 teams. East Stroudsburg North would get the nod at the 8th spot currently, but it is close between them and Jim Thorpe.
Okay.
And South Williamsport getting
regular Williamsport, not South.
Sorry, regular Williamsport. 6A.
That's weird. Williamsport Millionaires. There we go.
The Williamsport Millionaires in 6A are at the 2 seed as at 7 and 8. They've had a really strong schedule. That's why they're so high with the losing record. But I mean, they've faced off against some good teams, and I think we've talked about it before. It's still a pretty close race between the 2 and the 4 seed, between them, Dillaborough Valley and Hazleton. Wilkes-Barre, unless they go on a skid, probably won't get jumped in 6A. But
right,
Williamsport, if they keep on winning, they will definitely just lock up the 2 seed. So that's where they're at. And then I believe it's 4 teams. I don't see any of the 4 getting jumped by Scranton, who would be the 5 seed. They're 6-10, and their rating is 0.56. Everyone else's rating is at 0.6.
Yep.
I'm sorry, 0.52.
You're good.
So that is where the rankings are. We're going to quickly go over the games. There haven't been a ton of games, but we will go over them.
Regular league schedule now.
Yeah, regular league schedule now.
2 games a week or so.
Yep.
Okay, should I start with Muncie?
Go for it.
Muncie on the 23rd, a week. Oh, wow. They only played. Okay.
They only played
so
one
on
game.
the 23rd, they lost to South Williamsport. And now tomorrow, the 30th, they play St. John Newman. And then next week on the 4th and 6th, respectively. 4th, they travel to Bucktail. 6th, they take a much shorter trip to Montgomery.
Right.
That Bucktail trip is not fun on a bus.
No, I don't think I ever made it, and I don't want to make it.
I don't think you did.
And I never want to make it.
You're better off not.
Yeah. And Montgomery getting a win over Millville, 75-60. That was on the 17th. I remember not finding the score, but it's updated now when we have it. And then they beat Sullivan County on the 20th. Or no, they lost to Sullivan County on the 20th, 68-39. Tomorrow, the 30th, on Friday, they face off against South Williamsport, and then on February 2nd, they have Canton area.
Okay, looking at the defenders, their past week here featured 2 wins, a win over Loyalsock, 63-27. Tuesday, they defeated Mifflinburg, 62-47. games on Friday against Hughesville and Monday. Yes, the second would be Monday against Southern Columbia coming up for the Defenders.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be touching Warrior Run.
No.
And I mean, Southern Columbia, I guess, could have a chance, but I'm not holding out hope for Southern Columbia to get the win over Warrior Run.
Right.
But moving on to Southern Columbia, they did take a loss to Mifflinburg, 65-58, and Mifflinburg has been playing really well. Mifflinburg's been playing really well as of late. I mean, they did take the loss to Warrior Run, but they've played better than some of the other teams that have faced off against Warrior Run.
But everyone's lost to Warrior Run.
But everyone's lost to Warrior Run
from Philly.
Yeah, exactly. And then got a win over Bloomsburg, 53-27. They have Loyal Sock on Friday, and then on Monday they have Warrior Run, aforementioned Warrior Run, and then I believe that's Wednesday they have Mount Carmel.
Okay, sounds good. Loyal Sock 12-6. They lost to Warrior Run, as we said before, and then they defeated Hughesville here the other day, 61-48. They have games coming up Friday against Southern Columbia, Monday against Bloomsburg, and Wednesday against Lewisburg. That's Loyal Sock's upcoming schedule.
Moving on to South Williamsport, they got some wins last week over Muncie and St. John Newman. That one was close, though. That was a 72-68 win. High-scoring close game for them. They have Montgomery on Friday, and then on Monday, they got North Penn Liberty.
Mifflinburg, they've had games this week. They have defeated Southern Columbia, lost to Warrior Run, which we've already talked about, both those games. Coming up Friday, they host Bloomsburg. Then Monday, they host Hughesville. And then it looks like Wednesday, they have Lime Mountain at home.
That one could be an interesting game.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup.
11-6. Lime Mountain somehow wins that. That is crazy points. That could maybe that would put them in striking distance between for Muncie.
Right.
Because they are behind of Muncie right now. Bloomsburg is 7-10. They got some losses to Hughesville and South Columbia, Southern Columbia. They do have, as just stated, they do have Mifflinburg on Friday, and then Loyal Sock is their matchup on Monday.
Hughesville sitting at 6-13 right now. They defeated Bloomsburg 60-49. Then they lost to Loyal Sock 61-48. Their games coming up. They have that home game with Warrior Run on Friday. Then they're at Mifflinburg on Tuesday, and then at Selinsgrove on Wednesday. Not an easy stretch for them.
Yeah, that is a very rough stretch for them.
There's some physical teams in there too for them. Base. When you're talking about all three of those teams.
Moving on to Warrior Run. Moving on to Lewisburg, the other team that's at the top of their division. They have wins over Milton and Montoursville. Both times they scored 68 points, which that's a little consistent team, averaging 68 points only last week. And they have Danville on Friday. On Monday, they have Central Columbia. And on Wednesday, they have Loyal Sock.
Okay. Shamokin, 12-6. They picked up 2 wins in the past week, defeating Shikellamy 64-38 and Jersey Shore 73-58. Their upcoming games are Friday, Midwest. Then on the 31st, on Saturday, they come back and play Crestwood. And then Monday, they play Selinsgrove. So they got 3 games in 4 days coming up here.
I'm trying to figure out how long of a drive it is from Crestwood to Shamokin. I'm looking that up.
It's a decent drive.
It's an hour and 45-minute drive that a Crestwood has to make.
By car.
By car.
Not by bus.
Yeah.
So the boys might be getting out of school early up in Crestwood.
It's a Saturday.
They're not getting out of school early.
They're leaving early.
Yeah. Okay.
They're carpooling and they're leaving early.
Never mind.
You're good. You're good. All right. Montoursville 13-6. They got a win over Central Columbia, and then they had that close-ish loss to Lewisburg. That was 68-60. I don't think I said what Montoursville scored, but that's fine. On Friday they have Milton, and then on Monday they have Mount Carmel.
Looks like some.
Mount Carmel Montoursville is a fun matchup because of how close they are in the rankings.
Yeah, Mount Carmel 11-6.
That would sway seeding.
Mount Carmel 11-6. They have losses to Lewisburg. They lost to Lewisburg, then they defeated Danville 66-47 the other day. Oh, we're missing the Milton score.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
no, they won that 57-41.
Okay,
it says it down to the Milton one. I don't know why the copy and paste didn't show it up.
Okay, then Friday they play Central Columbia. Monday they play Montoursville, and Wednesday they're at Southern Columbia. So they play two Columbias coming up.
Two Columbias. They can get the Columbia Cup.
Not the District of Columbia.
Yeah, not the District of Columbia.
Southern and Central Columbia.
Southern and Central Columbia.
Okay.
Moving on to Central Columbia. They took a loss to Montoursville and then got a win against Danville. They do have that matchup against Mount Carmel on Friday, and then they have Lewisburg. So it's a tough stretch for them.
Jersey,
tough stretch for them.
Definitely a tough stretch for them. Jersey Shore, 6-9. They have a couple losses here. One to Central Mountain, 60-56, and a barn burner. Then they lost to Shamokin. Now their games coming up tomorrow night, Friday night, Shikellamy. Okay, so now we're listening to Midwest.
I think it's a makeup. I'm pretty sure it's
one of them is a makeup. So then we have Shikellamy Friday, Midwest home on Saturday at Jersey Shore. Then Jersey Shore travels to Midwest on Monday, and then Wednesday East Juniata.
Because
so that is like a little old home and home like the NBA does sometimes.
Yeah,
like
sure.
The Sixers and Knicks play each other back to back.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the snowstorm.
That probably is why it probably was a reschedule.
I think it was either Monday or it was scheduled for Monday or Tuesday, and they just couldn't make it. So that's
probably was a reschedule there.
Yeah, and moving on to Danville, they have taken losses to Central Columbia and Mount Carmel last week. They have Lewisburg. They have Milton, which, that'll be a win for them. And then they have Williamsport. They're going all the way up to 6A for that one.
Wow. Columbia Montour Votech sitting at 5-9. They have games. They played Weatherly tonight on Thursday, so we don't have a score for that yet. Then Friday they play Sullivan County. Next week on the 4th, they play Northwest area, and then on the 5th, they play Shenandoah Valley. Shenandoah. That's how you say that.
Shenandoah? It's not Shenandoah?
Say Shenandoah.
Shenandoah?
That's how they say it out there in the coal region.
That's okay. Yeah, that is a very coal region interpretation.
Yep. They got some,
All right.
Anyhow.
Moving on to Midwest, they had a loss against Selinsgrove. On Friday, they have a game against Shamokin, and then on Saturday and Monday, they have their matchups against Jersey Shore. And then on Wednesday, they have a game against Juniata.
Okay. And the Black Panthers of Milton. Losses to Lewisburg and Mount Carmel this past week. Tonight they played Montoursville. Then it looks like Monday they play Danville, and next Wednesday they play North Schuylkill. So that takes care of 4A games.
Moving on to 5A, we got Selinsgrove. And they've had wins against Midwest and Shikellamy. And then tonight they have a game against Mifflin County. Do not have the score for that. And then on Friday they have Central Mountain. And then on Monday they got Shamokin and Wednesday they have Hughesville.
A lot of games.
A lot of games happening.
4
But
games.
if they win all of those, that's going to be a good resume booster, and they could have
Right.
that 1 seed.
Definitely. Shikellamy sitting at 10-9, had losses to Shamokin and Selinsgrove this past week. They played Jersey Shore on Friday, and then looks like Tuesday, 2-3. Tuesday they face Central Mountain. So they have some matchups coming up that are important to them to try to stay above 500 for the Braves.
Mm-hmm. And next up, we have Williamsport in 6A. They have that win over Pottsville. That was 64-45. And then they have matchups against Wilkes-Barre area on, that is Friday. On Sunday, oh, wait, no, never mind. My brain ain't braining. That was tonight. Don't have a score for that. On Saturday, they have Altoona area. They're traveling to Altoona for that one. And then they host Tyrone on Monday, and then they have Danville on Wednesday.
Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, so that covers the games for this week and the teams coming up. Right?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, yeah.
What were you going to go for?
Nothing.
You were going to say something?
Go some just check in on some area scoring leaders.
Yeah, go
a
for
little
it.
bit. In the area that we covered, Jackson France from Muncie, averaging 16.9 points per game, 305 points overall. This gives overall points, not points per game. Okay. Hey, we'll go with what we got here, PIAA District 4. Xavier Jackson from Selinsgrove with 287 points, but he's averaging 18.6. So those are 2 top scores. The interesting Warrior Run, this is why they're so good. They have the 6 and 7 score in District 4 overall in all District 4. Aiden McKee at 268 and Ethan Balzer at 265.
That's an unfortunate last name.
Balzer.
I mean,
yeah,
he's shooting the basketballs into the hoop.
Right. But those are a couple top players there. Then you got Jackson Griffith up there with 255 for Mifflinburg. So just want to highlight some of those young men that are playing really, really well right now. Stat leaders, as we've got some solid stats now on the site.
All right. Yeah. Give a pat on the back for all the basketball players who are balling out, literally.
Okay.
That is wrestling and that is basketball. And obviously, it's time for everyone's favorite segment at the end of the show, the Talking Time Machine.
Okay. So this we're going back to the mid 80s.
Right. I mean, when you grew up.
Mid 80s. We're going to talk about basketball player. This basketball player, I'll start by giving you different hints.
Shaq. No, that was 80s.
This basketball player was known as the Round Mound of Rebound.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
The Round Mound of Rebound. That was his nickname.
He's on the Bulls, right?
No, he's not on the Bulls.
Never mind. It's not who I was thinking of.
Not on the Bulls.
The Round Mound of Rebound?
Yep.
Was he called the Round Mound because he was big?
Yeah, he's big.
Okay.
He's a bit chunky.
Charles Barkley?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it on that one. I was going to go much deeper into this, but you got it early.
I got you.
You got it early, dude. Pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, Philly legend.
Philly legend.
Part of me always feels like Charles Barkley played for LA, but I think it's just because of how much Shaq and Charles Barkley beef at each other during whenever they're on the air together.
He did.
They have teamwork, camaraderie there.
He did play for Phoenix Suns after the Sixers. They traded him.
I mean, I was thinking of the LA Lakers, but that's
but another out west team. But yeah, anyhow, so they so that's where that's at. I was just trying to do that. I was gonna go deeper. He was drafted in the same draft as Michael Jordan. Played at Auburn.
Right.
Philadelphia 76er.
Yeah.
All-star, blah, blah. I was going to go deeper, but...
You were going to go deeper, but I got it off.
One of my favorite players.
5 points for me for getting it.
Good job, Caleb. Good job, Caleb.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
right. So that was kind of a short one, but, it is what it is. You got it early.
Yeah, I do. You gotta come up with some tougher ones, man.
Okay.
You got to think about them. Let something stew in the pot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were gonna have more of a reaction to that, but it's okay.
Well,
But
no, I'm thinking, dude.
no,
Not for right now.
Not right now. Not
All
right
right,
now.
all right,
You got time to
right.
marinate.
Next week.
The stew has to sit for a little bit to get all the flavors in the stew.
Yep. So
Yes.
check us out. Thanks for listening. Hey, and you never know when we're dropping another one about these wrestling playoffs.
I mean,
because
yeah,
they
to be
keep
fair,
happening.
they keep on happening.
So maybe we'll before states. And then I was reminded tonight that like the top winner will host the first round of states
Interesting.
at their home gym before they head to Hershey later next week. So that is interesting.
So I mean, there is a chance that we could go to see them,
Right.
because as long as it's on a Tuesday,
It most likely will be Tuesday.
I will be off.
It most likely will
I
be
will be off
Tuesday
on a
because the
Tuesday.
talk was in the Mifflinburg gym, if they would happen to win,
Right.
they would probably host on Tuesday, and there's a conflict with the girls' basketball game.
Oh, interesting. Well, the girls can go.
Well, that's probably what will have to happen.
The girls can go.
Yeah, they'll probably have to play away. I mean,
Unfortunate for them.
unfortunate for them, but
Unfortunate for them,
that's
but
the little. We'll see what happens.
Greatness.
Of course, it could be Montgomery that wins, or another team.
We could
from
also
District
easily
4.
go up there too. Like,
Well, we could.
yeah.
Yeah.
Find our finest Phillies jersey, find our finest Philly attire, and go over there.
To Montgomery?
Yeah, to Montgomery. So we're wearing red. We're wearing red. Yeah.
There we go. And it's soon baseball season. Pitchers and
Yep.
catchers report soon.
Hey, go
All
watch
right.
wrestling. Go watch some basketball.